Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about a mod called Medieval 1100 AD. And this is a mod that's, it's not brand new because I did cover this mod last year. I made a preview about the initial build, or one of the initial builds, and it actually quite impressed me last year because it had very nice looking units. The campaign had a lot of potential, even though it obviously wasn't ready. And actually, recently, a new campaign was released for 1100 AD. I'll have the link in the description below. And in this new campaign, they have polished a few things, and they've also added more playable factions because, of course, there were only a few playable factions for several months, as they were a lot of them were in closed beta, and there are still only a few playable factions, but at least there are more than there used to be. So right here we've got a bunch of categories. So you have the Crusader States category, and you can play as Kingdom of Jerusalem or the Principality of Antioch. And then you have the Catholic category, so you have the County of Portugal, the Holy Roman Empire, the Kingdom of France, Kingdom of Leon, and the Republic of Pisa. For Orthodox factions, you have Georgia and the Roman Empire. And then, as the Normans, you can be the Duchy of Apulia and Calabria, as well as the Duchy of Normandy. For Shia factions, of course, you have the Fatimid Caliphate. You have under Russian principalities, you have Kiev. Interesting symbol here for Kiev. You have the Abbasid Caliphate under Sunni factions, and you have Denmark for the Nordic factions. So not a full, complete faction list, but they are still working on the mod. So there are going to be a lot more as we go along. So let's start up a campaign here as perhaps County of Portugal. There are a few things here I want to talk about. Now, this mod, I talked a lot about what I liked about it in the preview video I made last year, but I want to say it again. This mod, in my opinion, I think the setting is quite interesting. I think it's a better start date than, having a later start date, like, I don't know, 12/12. I always find the earlier start dates for these sort of grand campaign experiences in the medieval era, especially, but also for classical era mods, I find it to be a little better to have an earlier start date, because then things, I don't know, it feels a little more random, a little less scripted, right? Because if you start a campaign, like a high era campaign, right, you expect something to happen quite quickly, right? So everything you do, if you're playing certain factions, everything you do up to that scripted point feels almost scripted for the player, right? And when you take that element of randomization, right, I feel like that hurts the experience. It hurts the replayability, especially when the AI is not that good at handling those scripted events. So, welcome to Medieval 1100 AD. So, they've got 4 turns per year. And, you understand all that stuff. So, of course, the County of Portugal, just a few years before this start date, had become essentially independent. What's a little incorrect here is that Lisbon is the capital. Now, County of Portugal actually didn't control Lisbon until a little bit later. It was taken from the Taifa of Badajoz over here. Now, this leads right in to what I don't like about medieval mods that are based on Rome 2 and Attila. So what I'm saying here applies to Medieval 12/12 as well. However, before I get to that, I want to mention what I like about this mod. Okay? So what I like about the mod, I like the atmosphere. I feel like, I like the Attila map more than the Rome 2 map in general. However, I feel like, Rome 2 is a more optimized engine, right? You can feel it right here. And Medieval 1100 AD is a much more optimized game. So even though someone might prefer the gameplay in Medieval 1212, which I don't know if I do, the issue is that Medieval 1100 AD will perform better. And someone with a not great machine, such as myself, right? I really appreciate that. And that's something that really gives Medieval 1100 AD a leg up on other late Warscape engine sort of medieval era mods, right, for Total War. Now, the other thing I like about this mod is the units. I really think the unit designs are really nice. Portugal, the Portuguese starting army doesn't really show it, but I really like the units in this mod. They're really colorful. I think this mod really captures that colorful medieval spirit more than other medieval era mods. I mean, the medieval era, yeah, was the Dark Ages, right? People commonly know it as the Dark Ages, but it wasn't really that dark. It was actually quite colorful and bright, especially in terms of heraldry and banners and shield designs, things of that nature. So I think this mod captures that spirit better than other medieval era Total War mods. That includes Chivalry. Chivalry does have some colorful units, but I think this mod captures that spirit better than a mod like Chivalry, which is a bit darker. And I think it does a bit of a better job than Medieval 1212 as well in that regard. The other thing I like is I really like the icons in this mod. I really like the portraits as well. It's just a well-designed mod in terms of the aesthetic. And again, there's color. It has medieval miniatures here, which Chivalry has as well. Chivalry has medieval miniatures. I really like that fact about this mod. Now, let me get into what I don't like. And I'm not going to do a battle preview here. I have a battle in my previous video. You can see that if you'd like to see that. And there are other preview videos that show battles of this mod. What I wanted to talk about has to do with the map here. So the Rome 2 map is really not great for a mod like this. It's just not appropriate for the era. It's barely appropriate for its own era. So the fact that you cannot edit the map in Rome 2 and Attila, even though, after, I don't know, almost a decade of work, they might be able to eventually, in at least Attila and perhaps Rome 2, the fact that they can't edit it, and they have not edited it yet, really hurts this mod, and it hurts Medieval 1212 AD, which I will talk about in a separate video. So, like I said, County of Portugal existed. Its capital was at Guimarães, up in the north here. And Lisbon was not captured until later. So that's a huge immersion breaker, right? And then Lisbon was held by the Taifa of Badajoz. And Badajoz is not even on the map here. Okay? So you can't really have historical start positions. And that doesn't only hurt the Iberian Peninsula. What I mean to say is Iberia is the geographical area that is hurt the most, probably by that, because you cannot recreate the complex situation of the Taifa kingdoms on this map. It's simply not doable. And it doesn't look pretty either. So you have the Taifa of Zaragoza here, and Zaragoza is like in the middle of the Iberian Peninsula. And then you have Toledo over here under Leon and Castilian control. right? But then the border is not connected to the Kingdom of Leon and Castile up here. It's separated by the Taifa of Zaragoza, and Zaragoza is not... if I'm not mistaken, Zaragoza is a little east of this location. It's not even in the right location, and that bothers me. Additionally, I think you can't have an accurate Kingdom of Aragon. Aragon was like in the mountains here in the Pyrenees in the middle. It had not yet united with the Catalan county, the county of Barcelona, or the Duchy of Barcelona. And Aragon cannot be portrayed accurately either. So that is pretty much everyone on the Iberian Peninsula cannot be portrayed accurately. Other thing I want to mention, other big thing. So the Crusader states, right? The Crusader states in 1100 AD had just formed, right? You need a super accurate map if you are going to portray the Crusader state boundaries and political situation accurately. So, actually, the Principality of Antioch, for example, controlled actually quite a bit of land at the beginning because Bohemond was quite the politician, right? So, Principality of Antioch actually controlled all of these southern Cilician cities as well, up to Tarsus, right? And Tarsus is the only city in Cilicia that is present on the medieval 1100 AD map, because that's where it happens to be. It's the same as Tarsus in the original Rome II map. However, Tarsus is under the control of the Cilician Principality in medieval 1100 AD, right? When in fact the Cilician Principality controlled only the northern cities in the mountains over here and did not control the southern plains cities, including Tarsus. So that, but then if you give Tarsus to Antioch, then that gives them all of Cilicia, which of course gives the wrong impression, right? So you need a more detailed map. I'm sorry, for the medieval era, you need a more detailed map, and that is especially a start date like 1100 AD. You need the ability to edit the campaign map for these medieval mods. And all these comments go for medieval 1212 as well. Medieval 1212 has other issues I will talk about eventually, but that's pretty much everything I have to say about medieval 1100 AD's new campaign here. I just wanted to give a shout out to them for actually putting out this update, because I really do like this mod. I think it's stronger than medieval 1212 in a lot of ways. I'll just put it out there. So I will probably play this mod more on the channel. I'll talk about it more. Maybe if I have enough time, I'll do a full review of this mod. I've been, of course, busy with making my own mod. And I really want to thank, actually, Happy Compy Total War. I want to thank Terminator, Medjay of Fayum, as well as Melkor for making videos about Chivalry Total War Remastered. That, you know, when I started the channel a year and a half ago, I made reviews of mods. I never thought someone would review my mod, so that is really, really incredible. So thanks again to all of you. Now, in any case, I think that's pretty much everything I have to say about medieval 1100 AD right now. Again, if you want a deeper look at some of the battle mechanics and campaign mechanics, please check out Terminator's videos on medieval 1100 AD. He's made some really nice ones recently. And yeah, if you enjoy videos about the historical Total Wars and their mods, consider subscribing to the channel, consider leaving a like on this video, and I will see you in the next one later.